Welcome to our team call, you guys. I'm so excited to see you guys tonight and to have a special guest. So this is Team Drive to Come Alive's weekly call, and tonight we have one of my very, very favorite people now, Shelly Heim. She is my success partner, and now she gets to get my phone calls and be like, Shelly, I need your advice.
Awesome. No, I feel so centered when you call me or when we talk. It's like I ran upstairs today and I said, I love my success partner to my husband. I was so happy, to just have somebody to connect with and
bounce ideas off of. Shelly centered me today. Don't make any rash decisions, Holly. Okay.
I get, yeah.
So Shelly and I met a few Super Saturdays ago when we did the elite panel. Was actually the first time we met, and then we really got to know each other at leadership when we were in San Diego and just kind of hung out the whole time. So that was awesome. And I've had my team, Shelly, I've had them join up, the people that were in the push group with success partners, and it's really cool to see, people working together. So anyway, Shelly, I meant to ask her for her awesome stats, but elite coach, we just talked today. I'm like, oh, she's going to be elite for what, the second year? This will be the second?
Fingers crossed. You never know what'll happen, but
Success Club, All-Star Legend.
Yeah, I think 30. I'm right around where you are, Holly, somewhere, since Success Club 10 or higher from January of 2012. So however many months that is.
Okay. It's funny, whenever we happen to mention stuff like that, both of us are like, oh, we're like very similar.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. And I was a premier coach the year before. So in 2013, I didn't have my rank, but I had a lot of points. So that's kind of a nice accomplishment.
It is. Yeah. I did not realize that. And premier is pretty cool, you guys. So it's usually, well, now they have this, it's the same requirements as elite, except that they don't cap you out on your elite points in certain categories. So,
right. And I think you can achieve it at 2-star.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, all in all, Shelly's a rock star. And her team is just wonderful. I got to chat with them the other day, so that was lovely. So Shelly is going to chat with everybody today about, and also watch the team page, because I'm going to post some questions in there that she's going to be talking about, so that you guys can actually see them, because some of you like to see things and not just hear things. I don't want you having to write down while you're listening. So you can check that out while we're on the call. But she's going to be talking about purpose and your why. So I'm gonna give it over to Shelly.
Thank you, Holly. So, you hear about the fact that we really need a why in this business, and your why will drive you and it will inspire others to be attracted to you. And no matter what your why is or what your purpose is, and to me, they're kind of one and the same, those two things don't need to happen. What am I trying to say? They don't need to happen right away, and they don't need to be perfect right away. But you need to start thinking about them and defining them. And I went through a couple years of this business. I've been a coach since 2011, actively working the business since January of 2012. And when people talked about their why, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I just cut hair, I don't have like a big, strong purpose in my life. I didn't get that. And I find with a lot of members on my team, especially moms of younger children, they're like, I'm just a mom. I'm just a stay-at-home mom. I don't know what my purpose is. And so I came across this form of questions that help us define our why and help us realize that it's not a sprint. It doesn't have to be perfect right away, and it will truly evolve over time. And as I get into this talk, you'll find out how my why has evolved for me. So, but why is your why important? And that is the first place we're going to start. So, and I'm going to get into the questions that Holly's going to post a little bit more in a little bit, but I think this will open your eyes up quite clearly as to how you can go about defining your why if you haven't found yours yet or been able to define yours, or if you have, it will help you perfect your why and help you share it with other people in a really positive way with purpose and with intention. So, if you want to make a difference, and most of us do, or we wouldn't be here tonight, we wouldn't be on this call, and you want to live a really awesome life of significance and touch a lot of people, you need to tap into your why. And you need to start thinking about your purpose. So your why is kind of like your life's blood of being able to live with intent, and not just want to live an intentional life, but implement tools and actions that will help you live an intentional life. So if you know your why and and focus on going there with determination, you can make sense of everything else your whole journey. And you can start to see, because of that, you can start to see through the lens of your why. So once you find your why, you'll be able to find your way to do that. Now, some people find their way first, and that's okay. And others if you find your why first, you most likely will excel in your way a lot quicker. But again, there's no rhyme or reason. This is not about being perfect. It's not about being super, super specific in the beginning, but the questions I'm going to ask you in a little bit are going to help you start to know yourself a little better and help you find those answers. So I'm reading off my notes, sorry, so you're going to have to bear with me, but your why is your purpose, and your way is your path to achieve your dreams. Basically, that's kind of it in a nutshell. And when you find your why, your path automatically will have purpose, if that makes sense to you. So it all goes hand in hand, and it's basically helping you get to a place where you are super excited to wake up every day and implement tools and actions and all these steps that you're learning throughout this process, help you excel in this business and help you become a better coach and a more successful coach. So in this, if you kind of think about it like you're going on vacation, and it's always very exciting you're going somewhere sunny and tropical, and it's always very exciting to pack for your trip, and you know exactly what you're going to pack because you know what your purpose is of this trip, whether you're going to be on a beach, whether you're going to be snow skiing, and it's super, super exciting. So you pick out each item, and that item goes into that suitcase, and it all has a purpose, and it's a lot funner to pack before you go than it is to unpack when you get home, because your purpose is kind of gone, right, at that point. So it's kind of the same thing with your why. When you start your day with your why, you will find yourself doing things continually that inspire you. And this is, finding your why will give you focused and driven energy to keep going each and every day. And even through the really hard times that you're faced when life throws things at you, like I heard, somebody had a really bad October before the call started, and, the mother-in-law was diagnosed with breast cancer, and you have to be able to still keep going. Like to still keep going through those really, really hard times. And I'm going to give you an example of something I went through not long ago that kept me going and kept me, well, I didn't want to keep going because it was horrid, but my why was strong enough to help me keep going and to keep excelling in this business and not hide under the covers, like, you know, kind of like what I would have done 2 years prior to that. So purpose gives you meaning, and meaning gives you hope and significance. And there's some amazing truth contained within that logic. And if you tap into your why, your life will open up, and things will just become so clear, and you won't be fighting yourself as much because you'll have a specific direction. And each day you'll begin your day with really simple things that are they don't have to be huge, but they can be very small, like the 3 vital behaviors that just keep you going and going and going. And they're going to be attached to your very strong reasons that you find within yourself. And purpose does come within. You have to ask yourself some pretty tough questions sometimes if it's not super, super duper clear to you. So the sooner you know your why, the sooner you can shift your focus from yourself to other people. And when we're fighting for trying to find our why and not letting it happen naturally, your focus is more on yourself. And that gives you less time to focus on others. But when you start to really tap into that takes off all that focus off yourself, and you can just give and give and give and add value to others very, very organically and naturally, because your why is what's pushing you towards that. So you can start to lose yourself in others. And as you lose yourself in others and giving value to people every day, that's when this business really starts to take hold and the magic happens. And a lot of people give up way too soon before that happens. And I think that they're fighting themselves. They're fighting that why. And when you're so close to it, you don't know the questions to ask yourself. You don't know how to find that. And it can be really complicated, and it can really cloud everything you're doing. So learning to know yourself and settle in your why, you'll have the capacity to focus on others. And that's what coaching is all about, is helping others, right? So living out your why, once you determine this, it's going to give you so much confidence, and you're not going to question, should I say this? Should I say that? Should I post this? Should I not post that? You are going to be very clear in what you want to add, what you want to give to people, how you can add value to them. And you won't be going back and forth. And one thing that really helped me was when I started to figure this out, I was all over the place with my social media. I was posting pictures of my dogs. I was posting pictures of the ocean. I didn't know what direction to go to. And when I really started focusing on my why and what was driving me, I just simplified it. I started focusing on 3 things to add value to people, 3 topics. And that was eating clean through food, recipes, tips, tools, tricks, whatever it took, nutritional guidance. And then the second thing was movement. Exercise is a huge part of my world. So I started adding value to people by doing exercise tutorials and videos. I do teach PIO, so I added a little value through that. Good motivational posts about just how important it is to move your body every day. I kept it very simple. And the last thing I post about, the third topic, is about finding joy, being happy. And that's so broad, you can touch into anything on that. But those were my 3 things I started to focus on. And for 2 solid years, that's what I've been doing. I don't post a lot about any other topics besides those. So your topic could be how you raise your children healthy. Your topic could be how you, it could be anything, it could be on the financial end of it. It could be finding balance and time and freedom through this business. You could post on that, leading with a business opportunity. It doesn't have to be financial posts all the time. It could just be the fact that, example, I posted today, my husband sliced his hand wide open yesterday, and it's a huge, horrific gash. And I was so thankful to just be able to stay home with him today. That was one thing that gives me great joy. And I can also share in the business, or share about the business in a very subtle way that doesn't talk about Beachbody. It's just the fact that I can stay home and care for him, where 2 years ago, I couldn't say that. I was working 40 plus hours a week in a job that I felt stuck in. So just keep those topics in mind. And when you find your why, you'll know what topics that you can post about, and you don't have to complicate things. You don't have to be constantly searching for content, because those things are important to you and they're in your heart, and they'll come very naturally as you go throughout your day. You'll find things throughout your day that just be like, take a photo of this, take a photo of that. I know exactly what to say at the right time with this photo attached to it, and speaking to your target market, so to speak. So I get off topics once in a while, but that, just so you know, that's something that will really help you. I know a lot of my coaches struggle with, I don't know what to post, but it all taps into your why and your purpose. And no matter what they are, somebody's out there that you're going to touch and inspire with your story, and with your face, and with your voice, and with your words. You will touch people. It's kind of like the law of attraction. There's somebody out there for everybody. And it is very, very, that holds true in this business. We're not going to run out of people. So in getting back to that, before I really had my why defined, I kind of knew what it was. I knew what I wanted. I knew that I wanted to quit my job that I've had for 29 years. I was miserable. I felt stuck. So freedom was a big part of my why. Time, having more time at home, which I never had in my whole career. And I was burnt out of working with people and touching. I'm a hairstylist, so I was burnt out of working with people and touching them on a daily basis and having hair in my bra. So, those things really, really drove me to want to be successful as a Beachbody coach. And it was working for a little bit, but I didn't have a really strong grasp about it. And then in March of 2013, it was 2014. My brother, who was a commercial fisherman in Alaska for many, many years, fell off the boat that he was working on in the Bering Sea, and he was lost. His body was never recovered. He left behind a 5-week-old baby and a 5-year-old son and a beautiful wife. And they were just starting a life in Oregon, and it was tragic. He was my only sibling. He was the only family member left in my immediate family, and we were very, very close. It was devastating, completely devastating. And at that time, when it happened, I didn't think I could do this business anymore. I was an emotional wreck. It was so traumatic. And then I got back all of a sudden, after about 7 days of just feeling like I was going to cancel my coach account. I felt so emotionally drained. How could I ever help anybody else when I couldn't even help myself? And all of a sudden I woke up and I said, I just have to keep going. Now more than ever, do I need freedom? I need freedom with my time to spend with my brother's family and to help raise those boys and to be a part of their life and help I help myself live through him and help them know his father and remember his father. Bennett was 5 weeks old, so he will never know his dad. He won't remember any of that. But Oliver certainly does remember. And that became very clear to me. It was like that I had to, at that point, keep going. Now, there was a lot of other factors involved. I had created a lot of debt in my life. And one of the questions I'm going to ask you is, what makes you cry? So what made me cry and what made me really worried almost every single night when I went to bed was, I have all this debt and I can keep cutting hair and I can pay it off. I know I can, but is that going to make me happy? I'm going to have to cut hair till I'm 80 years old. But coaching, I knew, was going to help me not have to work so hard. And at the same time, I was eventually going to be able to cut back my hours and cut back my hours and cut back my hours. And I'm now working by choice. By choice, I could quit if I wanted to. 8 hours a week, 10 hours a week, 1 day a week is what I work. So I've accomplished, through a really bad life curveball that was thrown at me and losing my brother, a lot. And that's one thing I want you to know, is that purpose was like what drove my car. You know, it was like my steering wheel. It was what kept me going every single day, and opening up my computer and knowing that, number one, when I did that, when I helped other people, it took my mind off my loss and my grief. And it was the only time my mind and my emotions stopped for a while. All that sadness went away the minute I opened my computer. And so sooner or later, I had this positive association with Beachbody and helping other people and getting over my grief. I didn't turn to wine. I didn't turn to, food. I didn't obsessively exercise. I just focused on helping others. So that was my purpose. And in that year, that was the year I became elite. I mean, I can't believe everything that happened solely because I went, you know what? I am going to do this to spend time with my nephews. I'm going to do this to buy myself some freedom. I'm going to do this because I deserve to live this life. And I deserve to help raise my nephews. And I'm doing that for my brother. That's the only thing I have left. So it doesn't take a tragedy to find your why, but there are going to be certain things in your life that come in that you cannot control. Life is going to give you really amazing things, but it's also going to give you really, really bad things. And there's no way around that. It's how you react to those bad things that makes all the difference. And if you choose to disappear and run away and not check in with your groups when something bad happens because it's too hard, those are really hard habits to overcome. But if you go in with a purpose and you find that helping others helps you, you're going to go so much farther. And you're going to be able to deal with those bad things that happen to you so much better. You're going to handle bad situations so much better. Eric's death was the third really bad thing that happened to me after I signed up as a Beachbody coach. My mom died right after, horrible death, very young, all related to health issues. And my marriage suffered a really, really hard time. I moved out for 6 weeks. We went through a really bad struggle, but everything that kept driving me, my why, told me that I just had to make it work. I had to make my marriage work. I had to not give up. I had to keep going. I had to keep helping people. I felt helpless through all those horrible, horrible times. But my solution was, when I felt helpless, helping made me feel better. Helping other people, putting that negative energy and the sadness I was feeling, turning it into something good. And it just kept pushing me forward and pushing me forward. And I knew that what's the end goal, right? Is to have more freedom and more time, spend more time on your relationships. And that's what kept me going. So despite all that and my story, I want you to know that like I said, don't think that you have to go through something really bad to help you find your why, because you don't. And it's there. You just have to ask yourself some good questions. And we're going to get to that in a second. So your why should be your fuel for your strengths. And we all have really strong points about us. Don't focus on your weaknesses. Focus on your strengths. Okay. And those strengths are a way to help you fulfill your why. And that why is going to drive you every day. So every time you use your strengths to live out your why, you build on your strengths and increase your why. It's like a snowball effect. Your why just gets better and better. Your strengths get better and better. The more people you help, the more experiences you have, it all ties in together. And over time, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to go, I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Because it's like a compound effect, right? You all know that book, or what is the other one? Slight Edge. It just keeps these small steps that you put into action every day. It's very easy to have intentions, but you have to put action to those intentions to make them significant. So some days you may feel like you can only put one toe in front of the other, and that's okay. There's still small steps that are going to get you to that point. You don't have to do big, huge, significant things every day, and that's why the 3 vital behaviors are so awesome, because they're really pretty simple when you break them down. So when you know your why, you know the history and the purpose of each experience of your life. And those experiences, like I can go back now and say, I can't believe that how I handled my mom's death, how I handled my marriage, how I handled my brother's death, everything I learned through Beachbody and everything that Beachbody had given me from that point. I was not a healthy person before Beachbody, right? Most of us might not have been. Some of us might have been. But it was so clear to me after a while that it was almost, I don't believe in coincidence. So it was almost like my destiny was setting me up to handle all these bad situations. And that destiny was all the tools that Beachbody has given me to help improve my life and to eat healthy. I couldn't have focused if I was still drinking a bottle of wine every night. I couldn't have handled my emotions during those hard times. I clearly had developed some amazing habits, and I would have never developed them without Beachbody. Habits that got me through these really, really hard times. Habits that helped me help other people, which in turn also got me through those really hard times. So all that stuff just builds and builds and builds and builds, and we're constantly growing. I am so excited to just keep learning more and learning more about myself through personal development and positive affirmations and some other tools that I use that keep me focused on my goals, visualization, manifestation, things like that I would have never, ever even considered prior to Beachbody and reading a lot of personal development. It all strengthens my why. It all keeps me going. All these little things compounding together. And I feel like, it just like has made my heart better. It's made me a better person. It's made me a better coach. It's made me a better wife. I don't have kids, but it's made me a better dog mom. I have so much more patience. There's so many beautiful blessings in all of these things. And, be here a year from now and look back on what this year has done for you. And you're going to see so much goodness that just has continued to compound and build up and strengthen your why. So with that, you know, knowing your why keeps you in the game longer. It keeps you from, like, again, whether you have a bad time or whether you're getting bored or whether you're getting burned out, knowing your why keeps you more focused and more driven. So you all probably have heard the stories or know somebody who retires and dies, right? So their only purpose probably in their life, unfortunately, they didn't have anything to drive them after they quit their job. And I truly believe that if your purpose and your why is strong enough, it's going to get you through so many things. You have to keep it close to you to keep you in the game and keep you working towards your goals every day. So from there, if you do know your why, and you might not know it, it might not, like I said, be very, very defined. It might come bit by bit as you take steps forward, but it will come. And to find your why, you need to take steps forward while still continuing to believe. But to take steps forward and believe, you need to find your why. And that is truly what's the basis of why we're on this earth. That why we're driven every single day. So what should you do first? Whichever you can, do the one thing that you're best positioned to do. So start where you are by giving more, even if it's as simple as just giving more of yourself. Start with that and see where that takes you, if that makes sense. I know I'm kind of getting a little bit rambly here, but ask yourself this: how can you add values to others? And start with that. Going back to possibly just finding 1, 2, or 3 topics to post about every day that will add value to others, that speaks to somebody that you want to speak to, that you want to work with, like you're talking to a friend. And if you can just sit quietly and listen to some of those answers within yourself, it will become very clear and you'll begin to understand your why. But you have to not let too many distractions in when you're going through these exercises. And I don't want you to just think about it. I want you to get a pen and paper out and really write these things down. So the first question
Can I
is...
put that in for one quick second?
Yep.
Everybody, I posted these questions on the team page. So if you have your phone handy so you can look at the screen and pull them up on, if you go to the team page, they're the top thing. They should be. Otherwise, you can not see us and just go to the team page and listen, but they are there. Okay, I'll shut up now.
You're fine. So the first question would be, what makes you cry? What do you worry about? When you go to bed at night and your head hits that pillow, what are you worried about? For a long time for me, it was, my gosh, how am I going to get a handle on this? It was overwhelming. I felt like it was crushing me. So that was financial reasons were part of why I needed to make this work. I was tired of feeling that way. What breaks your heart? What are some things that really, really bother you? They can be environmental issues. They can be things in your relationships. They could be, things you're very, very passionate about. I mean, it breaks my heart to see animals suffer. It breaks my heart to see children suffer. It breaks my heart to see women not living out their best life, a life they deserve. They don't think they're worthy. So now I make it my mission to help them figure that out, to help them believe in themselves and to help them find who they are and that they do have potential. but it's going to be different for everybody. You know, what breaks my heart may not break your heart. You've got to find things that really, really get to you, that really, really bother you. What disturbs you? What causes you emotional pain? You know, for a lot of people, it could be that they are tired of living in a body that doesn't work properly for them. Whether it's overweight, whether they have, you know, physical limitations because of their weight, whether, you know, there's so many things that can happen to you when you don't eat right and exercise. So that could be discomfort for you. It could be physical. It doesn't have to be all emotional. So what causes you so much discomfort and pain and sadness that you're motivated to take action and do something to bring healing to that situation, whether you're helping yourself or helping other people? So these are the things I want you, when you write down your answers, I mean, just let it flow. There's no right or wrong way to do this. But those answers are going to help you figure out what you're fighting for, figure out what your purpose is. The second question is, what do you sing about? What makes you happy? What puts a bounce in your step every day? What makes you jump for joy? For me, it's, you know, when I am on top of my game and my nutrition is good and I'm not eating sugar for, you know, 7 days straight. Sometimes it just takes 3 days. I am so clear and so focused. That puts a bounce in my step every day. Seeing my nephews puts a bounce in my step every day. Knowing that I have a trip planned that Beachbody provided for me to go see them puts a bounce in my step every day. Those things bring me joy. So for you, it might be spending more time with your kids, walking them to the bus. You know, those things can drive you to excelling in this business and making it work and getting up every day and making you want to do this. I don't even have a choice anymore. I just bounce right out of bed at 4:30. I'm like, I can't wait to get to my computer. And I have to force myself to do personal development beforehand because I'm so excited to work with other people. So I tend to kind of neglect that sometimes because I get so excited about helping other people because I want more freedom. I want these things for myself. I want to get out of debt. What feeds your soul? What ignites your spirit? What are those things? Just, I want you, when you can take, you know, 30 minutes or 15 minutes or 20 minutes and sit down and just write down answer after answer and after answer. And once it starts flowing, it'll flow. It'll start snowballing. You'll have all these amazing things that come out of you and you're going to see them on paper. And the last thing is, what do you dream about? And then this is really cool because once you have all these other things, what you know just makes your heart have so much angst and anxiety and sadness. And then you know what makes your heart so happy. What do you dream about? And this expands all the possibilities of your life, your dreams. What drives you? What keeps you going? It capitalizes on the answers to the two previous questions. So it'll help you take them to the next level and bringing in the what if. What if I could do this? What if I could do that? What if you could do anything you wanted, not only to make your world better, but maybe somebody else's life better? What could happen? What are those possibilities? What if you could make a difference on a larger scale? What if you could provide your children 2 awesome vacations a year? You know, you think of financial, we talk about retirement a lot and firing our bosses a lot. There's so many other things that can drive you. You know, I'm finally, after 2 years of working with one of my coaches, I'm finally getting her to see her purpose and her why. And I said, you know, Monica, you don't have to worry about replacing your husband's income. You know, that's somebody else's dream. That may not be your dream. He may not want you to replace his income. He may like his job. But think about something else that you could want, something smaller. And she came up with, I want to be able to go on vacation. We have a nice home. We have a brand new car. I don't have to work, but we don't have anything extra. I want to take my kids to Disneyland and I want to pay for it. Right now, we can't do that on my husband's income. So, you know, think about those little things that you could do, that you could make a difference in your family's life. Let those dreams help fuel your why, your purpose, and keep you going every day. It's this big, beautiful package, your why and your purpose, fueled by your dreams. So with that said, the last thing I want you to think about is, again, you know, write all your questions down, or excuse me, your answers down, and that will help you discover, I promise you, it will help you figure out a little bit more of where you're going and why you're going there and what is fueling you to get there. And it's kind of a messy process. It's not going to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I want you to think about one word that describes you, your one word. And where will this one word take you? We all have a word that could describe how strong we are, what our strengths are. For me, one of my words is consistency. I'm a very, very consistent person. And so I apply that daily in my life through my everything, my 3 vitals, my being a product of the product, my personal development. I'm very consistent. I make sure of it. It means a lot to me, that word. I'm consistent with making my bed every day. I'm consistent with being nice to my husband. I'm consistent. You know, it's just a word that I take a lot of pride in, and I'm sure you all have your own words. And then I teach consistency to other people. So I teach my challengers to be consistent. I teach my coaches to be consistent in the 3 vital behaviors. So that word has many facets in whatever area of my life I'm focused on at the moment. I'm consistent with caring for my dogs. I'm consistent with keeping my car on good working order. I just use that word and let it drive me to other areas of my life. And when I'm really stuck on something, I go back to that word because it's my strength. And I say, okay, I can pull this out of me. You know, I am consistent. This is who I am. And, you know, I'm not perfect every day by any means. And I have my moments where I struggle for sure. But those little things, and going back to that word every once in a while, or going back to what really, really drives me, my latest dream, you know, my latest little dream is I will pay for our next vacation in cash. And I've always had to charge a little bit of it. I've always had to charge a little bit of the airfare, a little bit of we go on a surf trip every year and it's expensive. But this year I'm not doing that. My dream and what's driving me, another one of my little goals, is I'm going to pay for that trip in cash, and I don't have to ask my husband for money, and which makes him feel good. So finding your little dreams and focus on that one word. And, you know, maybe we could, I don't know, Holly, how you feel, but you might want to call on a few of your coaches to see if they can describe themselves in one word and see how they feel about that. Why is that word significant? And then keep that word in your mind and close to your heart for the next couple weeks and see where it leads you. See how you can help other people with that one word. And that's all going to tie into your why and your purpose. But I think if you really take a moment, especially if you've been discombobulated about your why and can't quite see it clearly, this exercise will really help you define that. And it will open up doors. You'll be able to add so much more value to people so much more easily. Things will come to you easily. Your content will come to you more easily. How you work with your teams will come to you more easily. It really truly works. So I think that's about where I'm at.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Gosh, Shelly, thank you. I mean, just a couple of things. I never have really thought about our why in relationship to attraction marketing.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me normally? You can hear me normally?
No, you're echoing.
Oh. So weird. I don't know why that is. How about now?
Still.
Sorry. Anyway, I find that, just that's powerful. Real, attraction marketing, just really getting to know our why and letting that drive what we're putting out there. I never really thought about those two connecting like that. I love it. So thank you for that. And also that's what's going to drive you to fight through anything that happens. We've talked about this on my team, and I mentioned it at Super Saturday, just bad things are going to happen. So, our why has to be strong enough. I mean, your story is, there's no way, like you say, you could have gone through that and become elite that year had you not had such a strong why. So I think that's going to be important for everybody to really take the time for yourself, for your business, answer these questions, because when we talk about attraction marketing and our whys, you're really going to get a clear view. Sometimes we kind of go, okay, I got that, and I'm thinking about this, that, or the other thing about myself, but putting it on paper, like Shelly said, and you're going to see things glowingly come out. And then your one word that really describes yourself. Does anyone kind of have a word already that just is resounding in their minds that drives you or describes you that you want to share? No.
Just being happy. Feeling comfortable in life instead of stressing about it every single day.
I like it.
Good. Yeah. I mean, and you can project that happiness on so many people. Like one of your topics could just be about, every day add value to somebody by posting an amazing happy post. It could be happy is a great subject to, have you ever seen the 100 Days of Happiness? That's a really cool thing to do. And, that ties back into consistency. If you posted 100 Days of Happiness, hashtag 100 Days of Happiness, and did one post a day about something that made you happy, and maybe even through the eyes of somebody else, your target market people, your lifers are going to just dig that. They're going to take off and they're going to do the same thing. People do what you do.
Yes. Good idea.
Good idea, Shelly. I love that.
Anybody else? I want to hear words. Come on, guys. I think you might.
You're all muted, so if you mute yourself.
Okay, yeah.
Shanna, were you talking to us?
Yeah. Oh, Shanna. I know Shanna.
I have endurance. I've been through a lot in I'm 31, and I have schizophrenia, and I dealt with it a lot when I was younger, and I've been up and down in weight most of my life, and I've struggled with my weight most of my life, and I finally found Beachbody, and I finally found that it's a daily habit, a healthy lifestyle, eating the right things, doing the right things for myself, and being able to share that with others. I've just endured so much. I've been through so much in my young years. I mean, it's hard. It's just a lot. And I got married, and our first year was really rough, and I had an abortion, and it's just like really sad. And I found Beachbody, and I was like, my sister showed me the container. She's like, you should do this. I really want you to do something for yourself to just see if you can make it, see if you can lose the weight finally and end the battle. And I feel like I've ended the battle, and I've been able to endure so much. And I just have so many wonderful people in my life, and it's amazing. And I've come so far. I've lost over 100 pounds. I was up to 250 at one point. Now I'm down to 139. It's like, it's just so amazing. I want to share that with others because I have a disability, and I am able to share that a person with my disease can make it, can do it, can do life, and can share it with others, and to grow other people and to bring other people into the same thing as me. And just, yeah, it's just, there's a lot to say, but I have the Lord in my heart. I'm Christian. I'm a believer. I'm a strong believer, and that's the other thing that's really helping me. And I've gotten personal development books, and I've just been a month, and I'm just now really diving in after listening to everybody. And I went to Super Saturday. I met Holly, and she's really sweet. I love her. And Shelby is my coach, and she's been helping me, and I've been just trying every day just to, like you're saying, finding my why. Just find my why. Why am I here? What is my purpose?
So Shanna, what I hear from you in what you just said and what you shared, which amazing, I just want to know, and I don't mean to take time away from you guys, but Shanna was a follower on my like page, and she on my business page, and she liked almost every post that I shared. And I tried to reach out to her a couple times, but I couldn't send her a friend request because her Facebook page was set up not to receive them. And then all of a sudden I saw that she was a Beachbody coach, and I was so happy. And I was even more excited that she was on Holly's team. So I
know everybody in my life looks at me like, what the heck did you do? Like, I look so much different. I'm not the same girl anymore. They all look at me and they're like, what are you doing? What do you have? They all look at me like, what? They've seen where I've been on the other side, and now they see where I am now. And it's just, they're like, how did you lose the weight? What happened? What changed?
But what I hear in you, like your word, I hear endure, and I hear perseverance, and I hear overcome. You can take those words and just expand so much on touching other people, and you're going to attract so many people by your story. You have a very definitive why. You have a very strong purpose, and just your story and what you've overcome, you are going to, you're going to attract many, many people who need your help.
I know. It's just, I think I'm going to be an inspiration for many people. I really do.
That's really
nice. That's awesome.
Very, very cool.
Oh my gosh, I love this idea of a word and then being able to expand on what it is just that you put out there, and that does just grow and give you so many possibilities instead of thinking, like you said, should I post a picture of this? Should I do this? Should I do that? That it's just take that why and your word and just expand and put everything there. And that's branding. That's attraction marketing.
Yes, absolutely.
Shelly's brilliant.
I have a big story.
Simplify things for you very easily, and all of a sudden, everything will just start. Your posts will start flowing, and you will come, and you won't be able to stop them, and you'll have to go, okay, 3 to 5 times a day, I'm good. Because I find myself finding so much content now within me that I have to go, okay, I'm going to schedule that. I write it down, and then I schedule that post out for the next day or the next couple of days, because otherwise I'd have 100 posts in one day because of how things flow for me now, just by using one word. Your word could be miracle. Your word could, there's so many focus, so many amazing words that I know you have within you that can come out in so many positive ways and touch so many people.
Does someone else have a word? I will share mine.
Okay, good.
My favorite word is thrive. And I talk about that in classes too, but the message that I try and get across, and now I need to really focus on using it more, like Shelly's saying, but I tell people it's not just enough to be alive. You know, our purpose, we want to thrive and have this amazing, healthy, fulfilling life. You know? So that's my favorite word. I've thought 1,000 times about changing the team to drive to thrive. But then I'd have to change the logo and
Right.
Yeah.
anyone else? Sorry, Shelly, you were saying.
Well, some leaders or some people that, I've followed for a long time, and this isn't the first time I've heard the one word thing, but they'll pick a word just for the year. And there'll be one word that they use for the entire year. And some leaders, have been leaders long enough where that one word may now be a weakness they have. So not only are they helping themselves through that one word because it's their weakness, they're also helping a lot of other people because of that one word. So that's why, like Beachbody, why we have a theme every year, right? For Summit. Because, we all kind of are on the same mission, the same vision that Carl wants us to be on through that year. And it really works. Dare to dream. I mean, dream bigger. Everyone matters. There's so many different things, but it just will simplify, at least even try it for a month, have one word a month. That's another great thing. That would be another good, fun team building topic you could do. One word, your whole team could do one word for the month and everybody posts on that word. That will help you define your purpose and your why as well.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Shelly. See, you guys, this is why I was so excited to have Shelly talk on our team. She's so much more warm fuzzy than I am. I'm like, they're going to love you. This is what we need. We need some warm fuzzy.
And I just want to, reiterate that it was not clear for me for a long time. And I wandered around like in a daze going, I don't know what my why is. I'd fake it till I made it. I would steal other people's whys. I would, just to make it work for me. And then it really became clear. And, it took a big tragedy to really help me define it. And I pray that that doesn't happen for any of you. But had I had these questions prior to those tragedies, I probably would have found my way a lot sooner.
I like it. I like the way that finding your why helps you find your way in this business. So thank you, Shelly, so much. I really, really appreciate you taking your time this evening and talking with everybody. We all appreciate it. Any last questions for Shelly before I let her go?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
All right, Shelly, have a wonderful night. I'll talk with you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, you guys, I just love that. So I can't wait to see you guys. If you want to post your word or your why after you do the questions on the team page, feel free to do that. That's just helpful for everybody to kind of get to know each other even better and even deeper, and to be able to see that come out of each other on our pages, I think is going to be really nice too. And I do want to take a moment and do some recognition. I'm about to post it on the team page as well. And if you don't want to put your why or your word on the team page, maybe at least under the post of the questions you could write done, just, just to check, that you've done it. That would be great. I just would love to see everybody kind of solidify that. I think it's going to be really helpful. I do worry, I worry. I don't know if I worry about you guys. I worry about all of us, I just, I know life happens, and we do have to know that our purpose here is so much more than making Success Club. That's a benchmark. It's a way to measure how we're doing, but it's so much more. And when things happen, if we don't make Success Club one month, do we give up? If we give up, that means our why and our purpose here isn't that big, right? It really must not be about helping people if not making Success Club makes us quit. right? So, I feel like we need to have that super, super solid. And sometimes when I hear, not that it's not okay to get overwhelmed. We all get overwhelmed or disappointed with things. Good Lord, I've had about every disappointing thing happen that could possibly happen. I tell you guys all the time in my Beachbody business, I've messed something up. I had something disappointing happen or whatever. And it's like, it derails you for a moment, but you jump right back in. But, I've seen pretty much almost everybody on this team's why at one point or another. Because it's usually what I ask for right out of the gate on push groups or any kind of group setting that we've done. And in 2 groups ago, I actually had them on paper and I still have that document saved. So if anyone gets derailed, I'm going to pull out your why and be like, well, this was pretty big, so this should drive you. No, but I think it's great to do a refresher on our why and really remember that, and remember, this business has just for each and every one of you the potential just to be huge and amazing and drive your life to a place you never possibly thought it could go before Beachbody. So I'm excited to see all those come through. So recognition, I will be putting this on the team page, but I do want to congratulate. I did something a little bit different this month. So our Success Club 5 club, Shelby Callahan, Lynn Findle, Sadie Gold, Allie Henderson, Karen Knox, Nicole Tuntland, I'm probably over enunciating that like I tend to do, and Erica Vale. So congratulations, you guys. And then our Success Club 10, Spring Chang, Kristen Ferreira. Hopefully I got that right. Kristen, did I get that right? Okay. We just have to double check the spelling on it too. Susan Glassmeyer, Shay Hall, Lizzie Keith, Denise Hopkins, and me. I used to never put myself on these, but I've had several people repeatedly ask me to. That's why I've started adding my name, because it was requested by several of you. I always felt like that was like, this is me recognizing you guys, but y'all, several, you want me, so that's why my name's on these now in the last couple months. Top recruiters, Lizzie Keith, 4. Joseph Chang recruited 3 coaches. That would be Spring. Recruiting for her husband.
So proud of my husband. I just want to take a moment to acknowledge his hard work.
Does he even know his login to his account, Spring? Right? So we're going to say congratulations, Spring. That's awesome. Kristen Ferreira, 3, Shay Hall, 3, Denise, 2, and me, 2. And then I did something a little bit different this month. I put top Success Club teams. And what I mean by that, when you see this, you can't see anything but color or but a bright light at you. But when you see it come up, what that means is I want to start doing this where however many personally sponsored coaches you have make Success Club, that's your team. You're personally sponsored. I mean, granted, then you could have a coach and then, those are your team. Like, you're all my team. But I'm talking about your personally sponsored coaches so that y'all can have a little bit of competition that way too, right? So I'm first. See, I should take it out. I think it's lame. Shay and Allie tied for 2nd place with the most personally sponsored coaches that made Success Club. And Spring and Lizzie tied for 3rd for the most personally sponsored coaches making Success Club. So congratulations. And I'm just, I thought about that today when I was making the list about who had made it and kind of seeing whose teams had made it. And I thought, I want to recognize you guys for that, because we talk about in all the trainings duplicating. And, I talked, was it last week, about setting expectations for your coaches, and Success Club is an expectation because it shows that you're helping people, right? And so anyway, congratulations, you guys. It shows you're duplicating it. You're showing your coaches the way, and everybody's growing. So anyway, I'm really proud of you guys, because I know 4th quarter is sometimes for some can be a tough time, and especially as we kind of start thinking more about, holidays and stuff, and taking a little bit of the freedom that we've earned and putting it into more time with our families. And that's awesome. But to see your businesses grow and continue to grow through this final quarter, through the end of the year, is awesome. And I'm going to leave you all with one final thought tonight, and that is, think of the rest of this year in terms of, besides the fact that you want to end the year strong and we all have goals of rank and things like that where we want to be, also think about ending this year to set yourself up for next year. You know, I'll tell you, that's one of the things last year that I didn't do. I did it purposely, but I didn't really think it through for the ramifications. So the first year that I made elite, I pushed really, really hard up until the very last hour of the year. And I didn't enjoy the holidays that much. I was stressed and I was working a lot, and I made elite with just enough points to make elite that year. It was really hard. And it was stressful. Then last year I finished my elite points in October, and I cruised through the last couple months, and I was like, you know, I'm so happy I've got it done, and I am going to enjoy this year and this holidays. And I'm so happy not to be doing that. But what happened is January came this year, and I felt the weight of the year all of a sudden sink on me, and I didn't have a lot of momentum. And it was like I felt stalled out, and I didn't even really know where to start again at the beginning of the year. It was like, oh my gosh, I have to start earning these points again and starting again and getting diamond coaches. And, you know, there's the things that are on my mind, and elite will be something that you all will be thinking about too in the coming year. But I didn't think about setting myself up to start January strong. And so that's one of the things this year that I'm thinking about is, you know, as we recruit coaches all the way through the end of the year, those are the coaches that in January are going to be making Success Club. They're going to be making Emerald. Those are your coaches that are going to be continuing to build next year right out of the gate. You're going to have people to work with. You're going to have a team that you're building. And so when the fourth quarter can sometimes be a little bit tough, or, you know, taking time doing other things, do remember that. Just also remember that you're making an investment into the following year, setting yourself up to move nice and strong. And that's what I wanted to say about that. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for spending so much time tonight on the team call. Next week, our team calls, I know this isn't going to work for everyone, and I know this is a time that I didn't even put as an option, but it's going to be 10:30 in the morning on Mondays. 10:30 in the morning. Don't worry if you cannot be on the team calls live. Okay, I will always post the recordings right there on the team page for you to be able to listen to later on. There's so many people that cannot do the evenings because of sports, or they teach classes, or they have a night job. So just remember, it doesn't work for everyone. It's also really hard on our East Coasters. So anyway, 10:30 in the morning on Monday, because darn it, that works well for a lot of you and for me. So, and then I will always have the recording up for you guys. But anyway, thank you guys so much for taking this time tonight out of your busy lives. I know they are, and investing this time to learn and grow. And anyway, I love you guys, and we'll be chatting on the team page.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.